Hi, how you doing? This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. I want to send out a special holiday message to all the Podcast Evolve team, all the patrons, all the listeners. Really support all the great work and all the cool stuff you've done with Halo. Keep up the good work, and I look forward to 2020 and all you have to offer there. We're going to have a lot of Halo news, that's for sure. Thanks again to the Podcast Evolve patrons, and Merry Christmas. Master Chief, out.
Welcome, Spartans, to Podcast Evolved, your favourite Halo podcast. I am your host, Aaron, and with me today we've got Oren.
Hey, everyone.
And we've got David.
Hello, everybody.
And this is your 2019 Halo review episode.
Woo!
Yeah, buddy.
We did it.
Yep, we made it to the end of another year. If you're listening to this episode, you'll hear that Christmas music, that's always the sign that we're about to piss off for the holidays. You may also have heard a very special message at the start of this episode.
Is that so?
Yes. We're going to pretend like we've heard it there as we come on, but it will be edited in after the fact.
Well, that's good to know. It was a great message.
We happen to get a certain Halo royalty to record a little message for us.
It was very nice.
Yeah, shout outs to Ian, who it's great that he notices these things because that would have passed me by completely.
Oh, 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I was browsing the R Halo subreddit, I'm not even sure I would have seen it, depending upon how advertised it was on that platform.
So before we go any further, I'd like to review Ian for this year. 10 out of 10 will keep.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Ian did well.
I think he was the best Evolved member of the year. If we had an Evolved member of the year, I think it should go to Ian for this year. In all seriousness. Because between what he's done with the website, YouTube, this stuff, our internal management for our files and budget tracking, superb.
Yes, quite a lot of this podcast grinds to a halt without him.
Would recommend to a friend, but we're not going to because we're keeping him.
You can't have him, there's only one. And we've seen how cloning goes before, so you can't.
I've heard other podcasts are trying to swipe him, so some scouting's involved, so we got to protect him.
I will set Krista on their asses and that will be the end of it.
Yeah, it's true. We'll always have the secret weapon that is Krista Brown.
Yeah, she keep us safe. Alright, before we jump into the year in review, I just want to take a little minute and, like we said with Ian, if you have a minute, go and check out our website, halopodcastevolve.com or halopodcast.com, because Ian got that. It's a labour of love for Ian more than anything because we're definitely still not paying him. But he's put serious effort into the website, the lore sections, everything else. I managed to get so much of the information I needed for this episode from the stuff Ian's put on the site. The single most useful thing, because I know we have a lot of new members lately and we have a lot of new people to the Halo community, he has done an entire section with all the lore laid out in order, what books are where they take place, as well as references to Ian's Halopedia Lite that he set up. So you can link through and catch up on everything and figure it all out while you're going through the books and our book clubs.
Yeah, he just links to our last shows that are relevant to the piece of lore you're looking at, which is amazing. And also he's done great work with getting the big episodes, book clubs, mission debriefs up on YouTube. So shout out to Ian. That's pretty damn cool.
It is. And if you appreciate all the work that Ian does, you can pop over to Patreon and you can find us at Halo Podcast Evolved there. And if you should feel so inclined, you can donate us some money.
But Ian gets none of it, just be aware of that.
Yes, no, it's not for him.
It's for everyone.
But definitely not Ian, no, definitely not. If we start paying him, man, the whole standard changes then.
Then he expects benefits and privileges.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
No, none of that stuff.
Healthcare.
I've got that for now. Dark times ahead, though. Oh, no politics, no politics. If you go to Patreon, you can throw us some money. I believe Oren has a list of the wonderful people so far that have given us money on Patreon.
Right. I want to, like we do every show, just wanted to thank everyone who's a current member and wanted to also just thank anyone who's a previous member. We don't, no hard feelings or anything, but any sort of donation that you've contributed, past or present, is still greatly appreciated either way. So just thank you for that. And so to go off of our current members that we have is Alex, DeSudo, Edgar, Evan, Gonk, John, Lance, Lucas, Matt, Matthew B, Matthew S, Muhammad, Morton, Nick, Orion the Elder, Philip, Raul, Ryan, Rye, Spencer, and Zach. Man, it feels like that list gets longer every time I read it. My goodness. Thank you guys very much. It's leaps and bounds of what we've been able to do with your guys' support just to kind of make this show more rewarding for the listeners as a whole, as well as for you patrons specifically.
The Patreon has been a fantastic thing, and it's helped us do an awful lot. Even the most recent giveaway, where there was a time when we did giveaways that just came out of our own pockets, and now we can ship gifts to people internationally. It's brilliant. We've been able to do so much. Oh, right. Well, again, like we said, thank you everyone. It's awesome, but you're here not to listen to us gush over you guys. You're here to listen to the Halo talk. So we are going to dive into the review of 2019 Halo. I've got all the major stuff gathered up here, so we're just going to go through them month by month, and you guys are going to shout out as and when you see something exciting.
Cool.
Jump in and comment. First thing to say, the year seems mostly to have the same amount of Halo stuff as last year, although very little of it was end of year this year, whereas last year a lot of stuff went down November and December.
Oh, cool.
Interesting.
This way around, the start of the year was a bit busier. But we'll jump in on January. Now, I've kind of split this into three groups. So we've got books, comics and media, we've got news, and then we've got products. Now, for products, it's really just the Loot Crate, because the Halo merch has really improved a lot. And if we go through that list, we may be here forever, because I know the guys talk about the Mega Block stuff a lot. There's a lot to go through. So in January, we got Halo Battleborn.
Was that the first of the year? Was that the way we brought in the new year? Was it Battleborn?
It was.
I just want to, with this the first thing, but Battleborn was an interesting novel. I think that a lot of people weren't necessarily wanting, at least the style of book that it was, being kind of like a young adult, featured around a lot of teenagers and all that. But I feel like that first book really was written in a very interesting and engaging way that it felt like it was an entertaining book to read, I remember. And then doing the book club with everybody it was a good amount of things and good amount of positive things to kind of talk about that I think exceeded everyone's expectations.
Yeah, I'll agree with that point pretty much. It was quite surprising. I wasn't sure what to expect from a young adult novel. I do read a bunch of them even still, especially like Assassin's Creed kind of stuff. Wasn't sure what Halo's first foray could be, but I was actually quite pleasantly surprised. And as you said, our book review is in there. But yeah, it was kind of an interesting way to start the year. But the shiniest book cover there ever was.
Yes, it's very shiny. It's also the most whispery audiobook ever, and I will never do it again. That's my only complaint about that book.
I agree.
It is not a narration style that I approve of.
Yeah. And props for whoever if it's your sort of thing, then props to you. But yeah, it did not tickle my fancy.
Yep, you're a better Spartan than I am. If you can do it. Ooh, anyway. What else have we got on this list here? We have the Collateral Damage hardcover came out. We also got a preview for Halo Renegades.
Woo.
The Halo fan film Dawn Under Heaven came out. It's not technically official media, but we're going to cover it because I think this was in production for years.
It was out for a very long time, and it got numerous shout-outs by 343 and like community updates and stuff like that. And when it did launch, they did push it. I'm sure there was a Waypoint article or a kind of a bulletin point kind of shoved out about it as well. So it was cool. I watched it. It was a shame that it took so long, but it was pretty cool in terms of a fan-made live action short. It was cool.
Yeah, the quality was quite up there. like for not a professional thing, it was pretty good. Like I've seen professionally made web series that were about the same.
Yeah.
Can't really complain too much. It was cool. It was nice to see people doing a project for so long and manage to finish it. Because you always hear about projects, fan things that go on for years and then they just run out of people that are enthusiastic about them and that's the end of it.
Yeah, they're steam. They run their course.
Most of the Halo fan-made stuff I still keep an eye on these days is Sins of the Prophets related because they make for some very beautiful screenshot material. I'm terrible at the game, but I like to look at it. All right, we've got some news from January. This is the major stuff. 343 partnered with a group called Limitless, spelt Limbitless, and they started to make Halo-themed robotic limbs for children.
Oh, yeah, this was cool. Yeah, I remember seeing this.
Yeah, it's huge program.
Definitely very cool. I think as a child, if you'd offered me Master Chief arm, that would be pretty cool. I never actually checked back to see if they do like a cat arm now, but they really do need a cat arm.
But if you get one, you're never allowed to drive. That's the only downside.
Although there's very few cliffs in Ireland, so I might be safe.
Yeah, but the few that are up north near you, Aaron, so you want to be careful.
Yeah, it might possess me and take me off a cliff. That's a good point. No, but definitely this was a really awesome thing. Like we said, all the Halo merch and products and stuff has really increased this year with 343. But this was one of the cooler things, just like awesome stuff they can do, because there are a lot of children that are fans of Halo, and it's just funky. I know Microsoft in general have done a lot of accessibility stuff and different things, and it's cool to just see this. What do we got next? Bungie left Activision, and they took Destiny with them.
There you go. Congratulations.
Who's that? What are they? I don't remember.
Oh, boy.
They're an indie studio.
Oh, fair play.
They make this thing called Destiny. It's not bad. I'm mildly addicted to it now.
Oh, boy. Get out.
The game that broke your Halo reach.
I'm still playing it. I'm on the new season pass. Just hit level 10. It's awesome. Hate myself.
Okay. Whatever.
David, did you try Destiny 2?
No, I never tried Destiny 2.
Okay.
Do you recommend? I know it's free, or our version of it is.
I think you can get the story and the drama out of just kind of watching it on YouTube. Because like the Red War is a really good campaign. And since you're familiar with Destiny and how it plays and kind of the loot grind, you can kind of, you don't need to feel that experience because that experience is basically the same. Now, After the Red War, that's when all the DLCs kind of come in, and some are better than others, and some add better experiences than others. But then it's still Destiny, and if you get exhausted with the loot grind, like I believe you did and I did, then it's just more of the same. I only have the endurance for so much, so.
Yeah, true.
I've played, I think, enough of Destiny to last me at least until the third one comes out, if it ever does, because the way, with this news, with they leaving Activision, they've kind of changed their release model and really doubled down on the kind of the seasons format that some multiplayer video games and kind of gaming as a service has been adopting. And I think it works very well for what Destiny is, but for me, I don't need to go back. So Aaron's doing his thing. I'm not going to judge him for it. And people still play Destiny, but...
The thing to be careful of, David, is if the free version gets its hooks into you, it gets its hooks into you. Because I played it going, it's free, fuck it, I'll give it a go. And 3 of the old campaigns later, I was buying the new one.
Okay, no, I won't do it, so I ain't got time for that.
Just be aware. Although I have to admit, they do a much better job with story in Destiny 2. Because I actually had some idea what was happening. Whereas
get us back to Halo, come on.
The
Get us
old
back
one
to
I
Halo.
didn't. I want to talk about Destiny. Stop
Get
it.
us back.
Leave me alone.
We're only in January. God damn it, come on.
Piss off. Right. Next up, we got some Infinite details revealed on the social stream, and they told us that we were going to have as follows: split screen, black undersuits, a flighting program, Spartan rank 152 players. We're going to get something nice for Halo Infinite.
Yeah, from Halo 5.
Yeah.
If you reach the max rank in Halo 5, then you'll have probably a nameplate or a equivalent type of aesthetic given to you for Infinite to kind of show off your achievement.
I'm still thinking maybe go as mad as a suit of armor.
I don't know if it'd be a suit of... I guess it could be, but...
What if they gave you the suit of armor from the Spartan companies? What if they just gave you that as an unlockable?
What is it? Is that the Achilles?
Achilles.
I feel like it would be a nameplate with like the numbers 152 in a stylized sort of format. Like, and like even looking at the Halo Reach nameplates in Master Chief Collection, like those nameplates look so freaking cool compared to the like 100 that launched with Master Chief Collection, where it was just 5 different colors and then they had a silhouette of a weapon or a vehicle or something. And I want to say the Halo Reach that released back in 2010 had nameplates similar to what they kind of have now, where it had more of like a design photo on it. Do you remember what those nameplates look like?
I do not, because I just remember making my own symbol and that was that.
I feel like the nameplates kind of had a little bit more of an artistic quality to them. I do like how the nameplate system that they used in Halo 5, but whatever nameplate, the nameplate sort of photo and graphic that they have for the Halo Reach achievements and Master Chief Collection are my favorite personally, and I feel like they should mimic that into Infinite, and that's how they can implement this type of reward for the 152 Spartans.
I just want to go back to being able to make your own symbol again. I don't like the pre-formatted. None of them were quite the same as what I had in every other Halo game. That's something I would really appreciate if they would give us back. I don't mind if the nameplate has a design and a pattern or anything else, but I would like the symbol to be an original creation in the middle of it all. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Oh no, I take it back. No, for Halo Reach, the old nameplate was just your emblem, and then you had like a symbol to if you played like Halo 1, Halo 2, ODST, if you played Marathon and stuff like that. So never mind what I said.
That's all right. It's a long time ago. I can't really remember all that. All right, that was everything in January. So January, fairly quiet month, nothing too exciting. But things are about to build up in February. Let's see. Oh, I put down here, we finally got round to doing the Ghosts of Onyx book club.
Yay!
I didn't put them all in, but I thought this was a moment because we are suspiciously missing the original Halo books as book clubs.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. Whoever started the Halo podcast didn't address the main books is weird. I don't know which jerk did that.
You should fire that guy.
Yeah. We are planning to do the rest of them next year, but we did tackle Ghosts of Onyx because we then tackled the Kilo 5 trilogy this year as well. So I thought we'd mention that was a big moment. Lone Wolf issue 2 came out. Not a bad comic. I read them all back to back for the book club that you'll be listening to it over the holidays, even though we've pre-recorded it before now.
I like these. I thought the Lone Wolf was good. I read them as they came out, so piecemeal. They were okay. They were okay.
They're not too bad. As comics go, at least they're unoffensive. What have we got here? Ian continued to put too much effort into the website. The lore section is now fully updated with a complete Forerunner timeline.
Ooh.
Shout out to Ian. Number, 3?
Number 3 or 4. This episode will just be called Ian. The last thing that came out this month, book-wise, was Renegades.
Great book.
Definitely.
Probably my favorite book of the year.
Renegades is amazing. Might also be my favorite of the year.
I was completely not expecting really anything out of that book. It was just like, oh, that's a new Halo book. I need to read it for the book club. And so I just start reading it, and then it's just like, holy cow, I have no idea where this story is going. And then, the big reveal. And so if you haven't read Renegades yet, like, I think that should be your holiday reading. Then check out our book club, and then check out our interview with Kelly Gay. All 3 of those things you should do over the holiday.
I remember reading that book, and Ian had messaged me and said, when you get to the bit, you'll know what the bit is. Give me a shout. And I'm just messaging him going, Ian, are they doing this? Are they doing this? He's like, keep reading. I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And I was just losing my mind going, this is not what I expected, but this is amazing. And it just comes out of nowhere because you're just not prepared for it. Definitely worth a read.
And it just works so well. And it's just like, and that was interesting listening to Kelly Gay talk about it, and just like how they 343 was just like, what if this happened? Can you like do something with it? And she was like, yeah, I don't know. Let me throw some, things at the wall and see what sticks. And it just came together really, really well in a very believable sort of sense. Major props.
Okay, we move into news for February. We'll go with the second one first because it's the smaller of the two. Bonnie Ross received a Hall of Fame award at the DICE Awards. She was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
Yes, definitely. She had an interview, I think, to go with it. It came out the next month. She did a IGN Unfiltered episode about it as well.
Oh, yeah. That was really good.
Yeah, it was good to get insight into her career and the sort of things she's into and thinks about. It's worth a listen if you go and hunt that out. All the IGN Unfiltered podcasts are worth a listen because there's very little like it out there. The other big thing to be announced in February was this thing called Outpost Discovery. I don't know what this is.
I do. I went to it.
Boo.
We should talk about it in July, probably.
Yeah, we probably will.
But from an announcement perspective, I think this was received pretty well when it was announced, right? Because it was like a fan expo event, like hasn't really been a thing. Because I think you had RTX, like the early on RTX was like the closest.
They had that, and then they had like one. Didn't they have Halo Fest like 1 year or 2 years?
There was a thing called Halo Fest, yeah.
But wasn't that that was attached to like PAX or something? It wasn't its own thing.
Yeah, so to kind of make that commitment to a dedicated event, yeah, when it was first announced, it was just like, oh man, what is this? Like, we just need to know more about it.
We'll, like we said, we'll go into it a little bit later when we get that far, but I think this was a pretty big announcement. Everyone was pretty happy with it.
Definitely.
The two sort of product-y related things for this month, we've got the Tech Loot Crate, which was Cat. That came out. If you're from Northern Ireland, that sentence made sense in a different way because cat, it does not mean cat. Although was it terrible? Was it cat?
I can't remember, dude. This final series totally went downhill, and with the financial problems that Loot Crate had, you can kind of see why.
Yeah, because is Loot Crate as a whole like no longer a thing?
It is now. It got bought up. Some investor came in and gave them a crap ton of money and brought them back to life. So they still exist. They're still doing their thing.
But the Halo Loot Crates are dead.
It's kind of a little reassuring in a way. It's kind of that's a weird way to say it, but at least it's like it's seen that there was complications not only on maybe 343's side on kind of what can be in these crates and how they're themed, but it seemed that Loot Crate itself kind of had some struggles because you tend to just give whoever the producer of any of these sort of items or merchandise kind of the flack if it's not received too well. And yeah, the first series was very good. Second series kind of was a mixed bag, and then the Reach third series was more or less kind of a dud. And so it's a shame, of course, that Loot Crate was the one that ultimately suffered from it all. But it seems, at least from an outward perspective, that it could have been a mixture of them, and then maybe what ideas that 343 had for these crates that kind of mixed into the failures or the letdowns for this third series.
Definitely, the lore and the data drops. There is support for that was definitely pulled for Series 3, even by the end of Series 2. You could tell.
Oh, the lore entry is just not as interesting or as in-depth.
Team Apollo disappeared off the face of the earth.
Well, they came back in Renegades.
I was going to say, ironically, they did get used in Renegades, but they disappeared from the lore completely otherwise.
Kelly kept them alive.
Yes, they have characters now at least. They have names. Once you're a named character, we can do something with you. The other big merch thing that happened this year was we started selling merch.
There you go.
And I've bought a ton of it.
You're not supposed to buy your own merch, for God's sake.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good merch.
I've been bad. I was gonna buy a Mission Debrief like t-shirt or something for Outpost Discovery, and I just forgot.
Boo.
Typical Oren.
But yeah, no, we started selling merch because, again, brainchild of Ian. He decided this is a thing we could try out. I think, did we peek at the penis-related t-shirts? Was that...
That was a bad shirt. It was a terrible idea.
Was that when we peeked? Well, what did that come from? One line of dialogue from Mission Debrief, I think. What did Krista unfortunately say? Something like the UNSC, here's my penis. And that became a thing.
Yeah, she was describing the Infinity or something.
I don't know. It's something that we don't want to resurface for sure. We don't want to do Krista's part for her while she's not here.
No. Ian has a lot of cool stuff there. He's also, by the way, open to if there's something in particular you'd like our logo on, because it's not just limited to t-shirts and hoodies. There are bags and mugs, and I think at one point he was even rolling an apron because someone asked him could they get the logo on an apron. Should you feel the urge to have the Podcast Evolved logo on something interesting, give Ian a shout. He's going to be so busy by the end of this episode.
That's good. It keeps him out of trouble.
Yeah, there you go.
This is true. He can't add bits to the website if he's busy. Okay, next up we've got March. We've got no product-y related stuff, no book-related stuff, but we've got some news. So, the first thing we had in March was that the Halo TV show announced that it was getting a new director. You may remember back that Oren might be able to help me out. I can't remember who the previous director was, but he had to leave due to like booking conflicts.
Yeah, probably just scheduling conflicts, because it seemed that Halo TV shows getting, delayed and delayed and delayed, and it's not really getting delayed and delayed. It's just the development's just getting longer and longer and longer is really how you look at it. And so it more than likely it was that he probably has another project lined up, and by the time Halo TV show comes out, or at least the filming aspect and the editing aspect, his other commitments were starting to kick in, so he would have to leave the show. Usually, if it's anything dramatic like butting heads on creative directions and stuff like that, that stuff is hard to hide sometimes. So I feel like we would have maybe heard something like that, unless they really did a nice job of wrapping it up. But yeah, it's probably just a classic example of just scheduling conflict.
So the new director now is Otto Bathurst.
Probably Bathurst.
He worked on Black Mirror. That's his.
Think so. That sounds right.
I think that's his biggest claim to fame on his resume. We'll have more Halo TV show news as the year goes on, because this was the year of announcements for the TV show. But this was there was a bit of panic when the director left, and then they got a new director, so that sort of calmed everyone down again.
Yeah, they spent the year rebuilding that show, I felt, and marketing it and showing us bits and pieces from it. So at the start of this year, we didn't know what was happening. Now we have a solid basis for the show is real. It has a cast. It's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen now.
Definitely, we got a lot further than we were before when it was just an idea. What do we got next? Oh, this was a big one. Master Chief Collection was announced for PC, and it was also announced that Reach would be ported to Master Chief Collection for both Xbox and PC.
Lots of happy people.
Yes, so this was big news at the time, and it's been big news at the minute because it just came out. Well, very recently. This kind of blew a lot of people's minds because we'd wondered for years why Master Chief Collection was never ported to PC, and then, well, the obvious answer was it was held together with tape and bandages.
Yeah.
343 have spent a lot of time bringing it up to code to the point where IGN just re-reviewed it and gave it a 9.5.
Did they? Holy shit.
They went back to it again with Reach and said that they couldn't find any of the issues they had with it when it launched.
What did they give it when it launched? Out of curiosity, do you remember?
I think it had something like a 6.
Oh, right,
I don't
okay.
think so. I thought Ryan like straight up gave it like a 9.8 or something. I think it got something stupid high. To its credit, it kind of deserved it on a not exactly the opposite of that, but like on a campaign level. But like that was like the example that then, or the precedent for at least IGN and other video game review sites to kind of do review in progress to wait till after matchmaking is live, because I think it released before the masses started looking for multiplayer maps and stuff like that. And so kind of Ryan, I mean, I'd have to look it up, but I think that's what sort of happened, because
he reviewed it before the multiplayer was live, essentially.
And no one figured it would take as long to fix as it did, so it just all kind of snowballed. But now that you've said that, it kind of rings a few bells. In an effort to prevent this, they also started an insider program for Master Chief Collection, and they began taking sign-ups back then. So the insider program is still running at the minute now for the PC players, but the Xbox version of Master Chief Collection is now essentially feature complete. Unless they make a few more changes or updates to it, but it seems to work. They seem to have everything in it, and they've got all the games. So we have everything, every shooter Halo game now on the Xbox One.
Crazy.
Which is pretty impressive. And almost every game in Master Chief Collection. I think if they port that game going forward and they add Halo 5 into it next gen, I'd be quite happy.
I've heard that rumor, and I think we could talk about it a little later, but I just don't see that happening.
We'll see how we get on with it. The last thing to happen in March was the 343 Pizza Apocalypse.
Hashtag good times.
Does anyone remember the Pizza Apocalypse?
I can explain it. So basically someone tweeted, I think it's Sketch, like if you announce Halo Reach for Master Chief Collection, I'll buy you a pizza.
I think Sketch replied with what kind of pizza we talking about, and that's what set everyone off, because then that evening the announcement went live.
I think that happened a few days earlier or something like that, and then there was, it was right before an Inside Xbox. And he said, like, what kind of pizza are we talking about? And then I think the day before the announcement, he tweets out just a single slice of pizza emoji. And then that's when everyone that was, like, in the Reddit community and, like, in that sort of story was, like, freaking out, like, holy shit, can they actually do this? And then they drop it. And so that guy, per his words, sent 343 a pizza. But then, like, the rest of the internet did. So they had, like, 300 boxes of full pizzas that they just gave to everybody in the office, but then they started, like, having it going to waste, and so they had to tweet it out and be like, guys, stop sending us pizza, like, we can't eat it all.
That's hilarious.
The highlight I remember was Jeff tweeting out going like, look, the receptionist went home early today, we can no longer coordinate this pizza. It's like, we need to do something with it. But it was awesome, like, people were hyped, and that was just like a reflection of the excitement, especially with the PC community who have had to make do with Halo 1. And did anyone even attempt to get Halo 2 Vista?
I think once upon a time ago I tried on my dad's computer when I think I couldn't play the console for whatever reason, and somehow I had it on Vista. And I think I tried it once or twice, and I barely remember it.
Vista was a very bad time. The less said about Vista, the better. That was the Pizza Apocalypse. 343 were rewarded with pizza, everyone was happy, and now we have Master Chief everywhere. So, next up we've got April. No books in April, we've got a couple of bits of news again. First up, the Renegade Loot Crate came out in April. That was Emil.
That happened. Again,
David, do you even remember it?
It's a cool... I remember all the icons, the figures, not the stuff that came in it.
Did Emil's Loot Crate, was that the one that came with the multi-tool? Or was that Cat's? That's the only thing I remember from those Loot Crates.
The multi-tool I didn't get, so I don't think it was Emil's one. Because I definitely got the Emil's crate.
Bastards. That's not good enough.
I know.
Right, in news for this month, we've got a couple of things. 343 announced there were going to be VIP ticket options for Outpost Discovery, and went into the details on that. I think a few people weren't necessarily impressed with the price, but yeah, if you've got the money.
It was nice. I didn't have the VIP pass because I had the press pass, but the ability to go in an hour early and I think stay an hour late definitely helped with, like, the line situation and kind of being able to see all the lore elements and read the different placards and stuff like that without the massive people that were there. I was there on a Saturday and a Friday, and there were so many more people there Saturday, and so it was nice to be there on the Friday, be there early on Friday to kind of get that moment to myself to kind of see everything that I wanted and take it all in.
Hopefully, if we get a second year of Outpost Discovery and they do some European dates, me and David will know the excitement of this.
Hopefully.
Yes.
I'm crossing my fingers for at least like a date in London or something.
Yeah, London's the likely one.
Wasn't there an EXO event in London? Was it last year? EXO 18?
EXO 19.
That was this year. This year's in London.
This year, yeah.
Last year was Mexico. That seems to be an international thing. I was very tempted to try and go to that, but I've come to this stage in life where people have this bad habit of getting married. And it's very inconvenient because I can't tell people, sorry, I can't go to your wedding because there's a games thing on. Apparently that's not allowed.
I know your pain. I also had a wedding that weekend.
See, dark times.
Bummers.
What else have we got? Master Chief Collection was updated with the Yappening.
That was pretty nuts.
That was cool. It was a cool event.
It was also very nice artwork for the title screen.
It was so cool with all the grunts kind of praying. Yeah. It was awesome.
They've done a few good things like this because I know they updated it for Christmas. They updated it to have like a frosty layer on the halo, and I think they updated it for Halloween to have flood.
It was like an infection overtake, and then I think they added snow on some of the multiplayer maps for last Christmas.
I like the seasonal theme stuff. It would be cool if they could develop enough of those to just have them automated every year. I wouldn't mind if it's the same events every year, if it just changes up. Hopefully they'd do a few more of those now once they're done the work on the PC version. Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention. I don't mention the community spotlight very often here, but it brought me one of the greatest joys I've had this year, which was the Halo theme as performed on Kazoo.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
If you haven't heard the Halo theme on Kazoo, I will hunt it down and I will put it in the middle of this show as our break music. It's fantastic. It's just so good, everything about it. That came out and I think I listened to it on repeat for about 6 hours because there's something absolutely amazing about kazoos. It shouldn't work.
Okay, it's not that good.
No, it's fantastic, David. It shouldn't work, but it does.
It's not 6 hours, dude. You cray.
Nope, I left it on repeat while I was doing show scripts and everything. It just played away. It was great. You wouldn't think you could get like dramatic music over a kazoo, but I wonder when they get the PC version done, can they mod that into the game?
Somebody will. That's what mods are for.
It might take some of the suspense out of the missions, but it'll be worth it. Right, we are on now to May, almost halfway through the year.
Oh, good month.
The cover art for Meridian Divide was revealed. Another shiny book.
Sparkle.
Yes. It's not bad cover. I have to say, 343's cover art's been very on point lately because there's a book later this year, Halo Oblivion, which also has very sexy cover art.
Oh yeah.
And Silent Storm's cover art was quite good too.
Silent Storm's cover art made some ripples in the community with the armor interpretation. I don't think Oblivion really did as much, but I think Jeff just tweeted out and just like, look, our artists are using artistic licensings to just give us something interesting, so it's not the same helmet over and over again. Which I guess it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like
I can live with it.
I can get over it, but
it's fine.
I do understand the consistency that the Halo community would want to keep, but it is what it is.
I've kind of accepted that Master Chief changes a little bit. I can cope with the idea that his vents look a little different on his helmet. So it's never really bothered me too much. I think people are mostly happy now because we'll talk later about another armor reveal that happened this year that people were excited about. Because that's still to come. So we've got in news for this month. Steve Downes and Jen Taylor were announced as attending Outpost Discovery. That was big news. I believe if you search back through the feed, there is an interview with Steve and Jen where they did a panel that is on our feed. So you can go back and find that and have a listen. The bigger news, speaking of Master Chief, is that Pablo Schreier was announced as Master Chief in the TV show.
Pretty big deal.
He stars in a few things, Orange is the New Black, American Gods. That's where I know him from as Mad Sweeney.
Yeah, as the leprechaun.
Giant, ginger, heroin-addicted leprechaun.
Yeah. I think it's cool because he is, not say well known, but a known actor with a face as opposed to a faceless being in a suit. So I think we're pretty much getting towards seeing Chief with his suit off as an adult, or with his helmet off as an adult. So I think the show is going to give us that.
This was also the month that Kiki scared the shit out of people with the TV show.
Yeah, this quote was scary.
Kiki did some interviews and she said some things. In the end, it turned out, I don't think, to be that big of a deal, but at the time it did make even us nervous. Her quote basically was, "We may shift dates, times, locations and ethnicities of characters to make them fit in the TV show, but we will respect the canon." And this left people very irate, very panicked. I don't think it overly bothered me. It was a little bit like we were sort of discussing, did we think that someone might come from a different planet than originally in the lore, wouldn't be the end of the world, or more likely that a location might not look the same as it was in the lore originally, but these things were all right. It was the dates, and then the ethnicity didn't overly bother me either. I don't know about you guys.
It's a shame that they can't stick to what is already established. And I'm sure, I have the faith in their development team that they tried their hardest to make a consistent story in whatever established confines it's already been established and novels and books and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, ethnicity changes doesn't bother me too much, even if they are kind of iconic characters that have already kind of been established. But I mean, dates and locations, there are small details. Not to say that they should be overlooked, but it is just kind of one of those things that when you look at a movie or a TV show, it's all based off a true story or inspired by a true story or actual events or whatnot. And so there's always some form of creative license that the filmmakers either take to make it more dramatic, or they take it to make it more interesting, or they just take it because they may not know. Part of the production, maybe it rained one day and they couldn't reschedule their filming day. So then now this scene takes place in the rain. Well, did it rain, 50 years ago when this event took place? Maybe it didn't. But, like little things like that, kind of always just happen. So to kind of see that happening here on this show isn't surprising. It's disappointing that it can't be true and true. Yes, it could have been maybe easier if they picked a topic or a element from the Halo universe that hasn't been so documented. So then they have the freedom to be a little bit more creative and create things to be new. But they wanted to tell this story for some reason, and so we need to respect that and try to find enjoyment out of it. And if it's one of those things where we just kind of be like, okay, well, it's just the TV show's interpretation, or if you want to go as far as to say, oh, this isn't my canon, I'm not going to regard it as such, then I mean, that's your own sort of deal that you can deal with. And hey, I'll be the first one to say it's bad if it's not good.
Worst case, if it turns out to be a Nightfall, we can put it in the corner and we can never speak of it again.
Like we do with
and
Nightfall.
We'll be all right. It'll not be the end of the world. Yes, we try to never mention it, and we only usually mention it when we score on it, so it'll be fine.
Anyway, that's my soapbox.
That's okay. Orange, calm down now. We will carry on. Next up, we've got 343 teased a reveal of the Honeybee drone as part of Outpost Discovery. And I believe, as most folks have said, it was one of the cooler little experiences at Outpost Discovery.
Yeah, I missed this tease, so when I saw it at the event, I was pretty blown away. And when we, like I said, when we talk later about our interview that we did, I was flattering them and complimenting them that it was a pretty cool addition that just fits so well into the universe.
Hopefully someday us people that couldn't get there will get to experience it. So we are short in a lot of these things.
It's okay. We're over it. It's fine.
Clearly someone isn't over it.
No. Look, I'll get there eventually. I'll be fine, honest. We've got 2 more things that happened this month. One small note, because I thought it was worth mentioning. Some modders managed to get the original Xbox version of Halo CE to run on a Switch, which was impressive.
Don't remember that, but that's cool.
It didn't run very well. That's probably why you don't remember it. They got it to work, but the frame rate had issues. I've heard no updates since. It was a thing they managed to pull off, and I thought it was pretty cool.
The capabilities are there.
Yeah, we've had rumours on and off, even lately, of portable Halo, but the closest we might get someday is xCloud, maybe on Switch, so we may yet get that far. But I just thought I'd throw that in there. The last thing that we did in the month of May was a big interview, because we got a twofer for this one.
This was freaking awesome.
It was a very big moment, and we all tried to be very cool, and I don't know if we succeeded or not.
I think you fanboyed a little bit, Aaron. Are the Forerunner books your favorite trilogy?
I don't know what those are. I've never read those in my life. I'm all in on the Meridian Battleborn series. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
So, in case you haven't guessed, we interviewed Greg and Chloe Burr. May have written my favourite Halo books. I can't decide between them and the Kilo 5 books, so no one can make me pick. We managed to interview them both. It was great. I think it was one of our longest episodes.
Definitely one of our longest interview.
And I think that was just because we had to kind of get their perspectives, because each of them, I was pleasantly just surprised to learn how much kind of writing and creative influence that Chloe had on Greg while he was writing all this.
Yeah, it was incredibly fascinating, just from, and like stressful, even from like even writing the script and prepping for it, because interviewing two people, it was instead of like one, and like there was different dynamics of like, you don't want to keep one person not being talked to or about for any long period of time, so trying to find a balance where we can engage them both at the same time. And it was so much fun after the fact. I think like once I was done with it, I was like, yes, that was great.
They even fed off each other nicely to where they would kind of tell the same story together, which is what you want as well. So very successful interview in our world. We're very thankful.
And on a side note, shout out to Chloe, because after this interview, she joined the Discord and we never got rid of her again.
Oh, she's still messaging around?
She's still there. I see her lurk occasionally.
Oh, great.
It's always good when you have an interview and someone decides to stay after the fact. I think that's a pretty good sign that David knows his stuff.
Woo!
Yes, we should be complimenting David on putting these interviews together. It's a big feat, and you do it very well.
Well, thank you very much, but I think the end of the year belongs to you, Oren, because I think you sweeped up. Oh, we'll get there.
Every so often he threatens to make me do the next interview, and I find an excuse not to, but I don't want to. Okay, we've got June now. It's funny, it's only one entry in this for the news, but it's kind of a big one. Yeah. First off, on the Loot Crate side, the Noble 5 crate was announced as the next crate. That was just something to remember. But E3 happened. So there are two things I've got noted here. First, the Elite Series 2 came out. Absolutely fantastic controller. If you are considering an Elite, get it. It's really sexy.
Did you have the Elite Series 1?
I did.
And so you think it's leaps and bounds and worth your investment to upgrade?
I think if your Series 1 has seen better days, definitely make the leap. If your Series 1 is still in good shape, you could probably hold off for a bit. The reason I made the jump is because I had the misfortune of dropping my Series 1 at one stage.
Oh no.
And it started to make a few noises. But it still worked, but it sort of made me afraid. So I traded it in as quickly as I could. I haven't had a single complaint about the new controller. It's just, everything about it is great. The new material they make it out of, the way they change the rubber, the bumpers feel great, the new triggers, all of it. It's a really, really just good controller. And it works with the next Xbox, so if you buy it, you're future-proof.
I've been thinking about getting it, but I think I may just wait completely until the next box comes out, play with that new controller, and if I'm fine with it, then, I'll figure it out.
It looks to be largely the same. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but we're going to discuss the new console in the new year when we get that far. So next up, we've got July.
Oh, wait, you didn't talk about the trailer.
Hold on.
Hang on. I was about to shoot past the biggest bit of news.
Pump those brakes, boy.
Okay, hang on. We'll go back here. There was a trailer for a little game that came out. I forgot all about this.
How could you forget about this
There was a trailer that a lot of people didn't guess what it was for about 30 seconds. I was the same. For this game called Halo Infinite. And actually, it's longer than 30 seconds. It's you watching this pilot in some sort of a spaceship for a good, maybe 30, 40 seconds.
I think, it was like a good minute before you...
He's adrift in space. He's had some sort of technical problem. There's really, really beautiful graphics in this trailer. Like, it shows you him aging, his beard. He has this hologram of his family playing a message and all. It looks beautiful. And then this goes on and on and on until this pilot gets a proximity warning, and he leaps into the cockpit, checks his equipment, and then he wipes the frost off the glass, and we see a very familiar figure floating in space.
As the figure does.
As he tends to. He's big, he's green, he's very mean. It's Master Chief.
Having his nap.
Yes, he's having a wee chill.
Space nap.
The pilot hauls him inside his, as yet, some form of pelican, but we never see the outside of it. And he basically hotwires Master Chief to get him going again.
Yeah, kind of jumpstarts him.
Yeah, jumpstarts him.
He plugs him into the Pelican, he gets him up and running. Him and Chief discuss a little bit about, we need to get moving, we need this, and the pilot reveals to him, actually, we've already lost. And then he looks out the window to reveal a halo with a chunk missing out of it. And then there's a bright light that flashes in through the Pelican window, and then Master Chief basically has the "we're going to war."
It's pretty dope. It's a get hype trailer.
It's a really good trailer.
And it's the intro of the game. That's how you start Halo Infinite.
Oh, it definitely, yeah.
That's the prologue.
It has the moment of, check your invert controllers. Are they okay?
They're normal, you need to invert them.
So, this trailer came out. When it starts off, I don't think anyone thought it was going to be Halo. It seemed like something else. It looks beautiful.
As good as the trailer was, I was a little disappointed at the end of E3 that that's all it was. I was kind of hoping for a bit more.
I think just because we're so far out, it was probably the best we had to sort of make do with for a while, but there will be some more mention of that trailer later in this year in review. Next up, we've got July. Silent Storm came out in paperback form. Silent Storm, very good.
One more thing we did that did happen at E3, was that we got the launch window for Infinite being 2020, and that it launches day and date with Xbox Scarlet.
Very true. Yes, it is a launch title for the new Xbox.
And it is backwards compatible, so you can play it on your Xbox One, even your big brick if you have the original Xbox One.
It'll be cross-gen, whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah, a cross-gen title. Yeah, that's kind of what they call it.
Which will be cool. July, we said Silent Storm came out. We interviewed Kelly Gay. That was another fantastic interview that went really well. Kelly was awesome to talk to.
She was great. Shout out to Kelly. She was amazing. It was really fun to get her. She was really nervous, but I think she came across really well. Yeah. And it was just so much fun to talk to, because her 2.5 books were awesome. And like, with Renegades and everything that kind of introduces and captures and stuff, it was just really great to kind of get her input, and fascinating to see how all those things got captured in that book, which has an insane amount of links to like all Halo media. So it was pretty cool.
Before we let Oren talk, I'll mention this other one. 343 must have seen the writing was on the wall back in July, because they announced that the Halo crates were ending. So Series 3 would be the final series.
Which I remember pretty much everyone came to the agreement that this was a good thing.
No one was upset.
Yeah, because like I said at the beginning, Halo crates kind of went downhill a little bit. In premise, they were good. I think we were all crazy excited at the start. But I guess they didn't go anywhere. But we got some cool stuff. At the end of the day, I'm kind of happy they're done. We
kind of decided if they brought them back and only did maybe 1 or 2 a year, most of us would be quite happy.
Yeah, one-off special crates would be pretty cool.
Even if it was a little more expensive, we would probably maybe get in on it if it was only 1 or 2 a year, but we'll see. This next one was the big one. Krista and Oren both attended Outpost Discovery in July.
Yes, we did.
Oren got to meet some listeners.
So, yeah, I got to meet some listeners. I met Ian, which was, like, pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of shows that we did. I think Krista and I had a show talking all about Outpost Discovery. We have 2 shows about the podcast, or the panels that I was on and that Colin was on when Outpost Discovery went to Chicago. And so that was the what was it called? Let's Talk About Halo podcast, or podcasting about the Halo community, something like that. And that Dust Storm with Podtacular hosted and kind of invited some other podcasting communities up on the panel that we talked all about what our shows do, what we mean about the Halo community and things like that. And so you can search that on our feed or on our website. Just search Outpost Discovery, and we have those recordings there archived for you to go back and listen to if you missed it. There was also, like we alluded to earlier, Jen Taylor and Steve Downs were interviewed by Bravo, and I was sitting right next to a speaker, and so I just kind of recorded my phone. So it's a little not too great quality, but it's still pretty auditory, so you can still kind of listen to it. And so that was interesting to like listen to them and kind of talk with just other people that were there, and kind of in the lines and the queues, and meeting other Halo fans and just taking the event in as a whole. It was quite an experience, and yes, I really do hope that the European community get a chance to experience this this event, because it's truly unique, and there are definitely ways that they can improve just to kind of make the experience better. But from the things that were really great, like the ring experience and the Hall of History, were among the kind of better parts of the whole event, and very informative and entertaining and engaging. So huge success in my book. I thank 343 and Hershin Live for the VIP press pass that we received, and so I was able to kind of get in and do, you know, what we were doing to let our listeners know what's going on if they weren't able to check it out. So yeah, if you missed those episodes and are interested in learning more about it, go back. I can't recall what number episode, but it was probably around 160 or 170.
If you search for it, the website will spit it out because Ian's good like that.
If you just type in Outpost Discovery, like I said, we have like 5 or 6 episodes all about it. And we also interviewed, just kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but we did interview a member from Falcon's creative group who helped design some of the experience. A good friend of mine who works there that I went to school with, we interviewed him, Andreas, and they also interviewed me and another Ian from Halo Canon, or the Halo Canon. Toa Freak is also his moniker, and so they interviewed both of us on kind of our fan reactions to the event. So it was interesting to kind of see both sides of it. And again, you can search that on Outpost Discovery. And then if you wanted to listen to the interview that I was in, that was Falcon's Creative Group's podcast called Experience Imagination, and you can find that on iTunes. So a lot of information there. So
right, we're going to bounce on a little bit because we are getting long. And we're not even finished yet. We're going to move on to our next month. We are now in August. Quite a bit actually happened in August. The Discover Hope trailer, which is what the E3 trailer was, some Reddit users discovered hidden Cortana audio in the trailer. It set our creative juices sort of flowing, and a lot of theories going about.
I don't remember like really anything that came out of it. Was anything ever like confirmed or decided, or was it just one of those things that was like, well, this is kind of cool, but we don't
found
really
the hidden
know.
audio, but it just matches up to that last scene of the trailer. That's about all we could figure out. Nothing else really, so it's just one of those things we'll have to wait and see how it plays into the final game. We got that. 343 revealed most of the cast for the Halo TV show. So we got Parangoski, we got Soren, we got 3 new Spartans that are definitely the cannon fodder.
What are you talking about? The Spartans, they don't die.
No, definitely not. They just go off the air. We got Tim Longo, creative director for Halo Infinite. He left 343. I think people were a bit mixed about whether we should or shouldn't be excited about it. I think the consensus the community sort of came down to was it's probably at a stage where it was all right for him to go.
Yeah, and I think 343 mentioned that as well, because I think someone else left later in the year, and 343 was basically
There was a
like,
few levers, yeah.
They're just like, look, like, nothing, everything's fine. They're just moving on. It's in good hands. And granted, it's not like they're going to say, like, oh, shit, guys, yeah, we weren't expecting this one.
Halo's fucked.
Really glad I'm not working for 343. But, like, you know, they're obviously not going to do that, but their reassurance felt genuine.
And the other thing is, this is a much longer development cycle than what we're used to with Halo, so a lot of these people were probably in it for the long haul, and they're just at that stage now where they're finished up and ready to move on. Things are still trucking on, so I don't think there's been any real issue from it yet. We have almost another year to go. We will see. A little random one. Kat and Emil were added into multiplayer and Horde in Gears 5 as playable characters.
That's kind of cool.
I've kind of played about with them. The armor looks pretty good. They got the original voice actors to do both.
Oh, that's cool.
They've got custom dialogue for Gears voiced by the originals, which is quite nice.
Are they saying Gears stuff or Halo stuff?
They'll be talking about Gears stuff, like if you tag and mark stuff, they'll shout things out and they'll call out enemies incoming and stuff like that, and I'm down, revive me.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's pretty good. Although it turned out the best character I had to play in Gears was actually Jack the Robot, so that's what I ended up playing quite a lot. What have we got? Oh yes, this last one. 343 announced like the mother load that we're going to the Anaheim Outpost Discovery, and everyone was upset that we all missed this one.
Everyone who's anyone in terms of creating what Halo is was at Anaheim.
Here is the list. I'm going to run through these quick, and you can be depressed that you missed this too. Troy Denning, Kelly Gay, Cassandra
Never
Rose
heard of
Clark, Matt Forbeck, Joseph Staten, Ann Toole, who did the Lone Wolf comics, because you may not know that, and Frank O'Connor and Jeff.
Those jerks.
I think the only other person that would have made this list, like the complete all-star cast, is if they were able to get Eric Nyland back.
Yes, if you had have pulled him out of a cryotube and stuck him on stage.
Yeah, if you
And Karen Travis.
Yeah, and Karen, I guess Karen Travis. If we want to have all the authors there, as well as, didn't Greg Bear go?
Yes.
I don't see his name here. I want to say he was there too.
I don't know, unless that was a later announcement. This was just what was in our show notes, so...
Maybe not.
Maybe not, but I thought his name
Unless
was
he
there.
attended as just a guest, which is possible.
Yeah, him and Chloe could have gone.
He might have just gone in disguise and mooched about. Right, what have we got in September? Halo Oblivion came out.
Awesome.
It's a pretty good book. There hasn't been a bad book lately, which is nice.
Well, also, yeah, it was a good book. Maybe not awesome. Maybe I'm overdoing it.
It's not as good as Silent Storm, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
But Silent Storm set a very high bar, so it's
Yeah, I was
nothing
very
to
impressed
hold
with
against
Silent
it.
Storm. I haven't read Oblivion yet, I admit.
It's worth it.
Oh, I definitely will.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
That might be one of the books I read over the holiday.
Yeah, sure, we believe you.
Oren can read.
Oh, I know he can, he just doesn't like to. There's a difference. Right, the only bit of news for this month is that 343 announced that there would be a one-time file migration from the old Halos to Master Chief Collection. So a lot of people gathered up their reach maps and different things.
And Halo 3 as well.
Yep, they were all ported over.
Which I think is just nuts. That's just so cool. That that is so much like Halo history of like community. Like if you were like, for those of you who may not have been around for Halo 3 or Halo Reach, like multiplayer and custom games, like there was such a large community for those custom games and just what you can do with Forge and what you can do with the game customizations, game type customizations, and just like I played so many weird shit in Halo Reach. It was so cool. Props to all the community there. Just has just a crazy idea, runs with it, and it just turns into...
Like, it was definitely, I think it was something that no one expected. It was a pie in the sky sort of like wish list thing that people had, and then they ended up able to pull it off.
And that's why now with Halo 5, and you have that Forge and these game type customization options that are just so much more in depth that people still think of crazy innovative ways to just push that. So I think that this was a huge thing that 343 was able to do for the community, to bring all that up to the modern gaming era.
Those were the only two things that happened in September. October, we have a couple more things. So we got another book, Meridian Divide, came out.
Not our favorite.
I think just the young adult thing doesn't really mesh with us. It was another whispery book as well, so I did not listen to that one.
Did you guys go into the book club on how it's different from Battleborn and kind of where it falls, like how it falls short on just like a storytelling standpoint?
Yes, we kind of did go into the details of why we don't like it as much, and why, like, let's say some of the things that it started in Battleborn that we didn't think kind of bothered us, kind of did. It's kind of hard to say. Also, I can't really remember the specifics, but we did go into some detail as to why we didn't like it as much, let me say. And also, I'll take them with a grain of salt, because we're not the target audience for these books at the end of the day.
They are built for a younger audience, and it just wasn't doing too much for us. Give it a go. If you like the ASMR audio, you can give that a go too. But
There's an audience for that.
There is.
it's just not me. Let's see, we have a couple of things that happened in the news this month. As Oren said earlier, we interviewed Andreas from Falcon's Creative Groups. We had that. Halo 3 turned 12, and we all felt very old. And I still can't remember how to pronounce this poor dog's name. Gyoza the pug?
Gyoza?
Gyoza became famous as one of the sound effect contributors to Halo Infinite. Sound team for Halo put out a few videos on YouTube of them at work recording stuff. So they were like blowing things up, shooting guns. They were racing like a beach buggy down a highway and recording it from different distances and angles. And then they had this pug who was snuffling and snorting around the studio.
Nice.
If ever you were going to imagine that a pug might sound like a grunt, or maybe a wild animal, because they've hinted at wild animals, but I like to think he'll snuffle like a grunt.
Bit of wildlife.
There is quite a bit of wildlife in this Halo from the looks of it, and we'll see how that goes. We're almost at the end of the year, almost no more news left. No books in November. We have the final bit of Halo TV show news. The final final 3 characters were revealed, and we were told who would play Jacob Keyes and Miranda Keyes. And they are Danny Sapani and Olive Gray. And people may have been a little bit excitable about this.
Yeah, they didn't take it too well. So this is the race change that happened, essentially.
Yes, this is the change of ethnicity. Captain Keyes is now African American instead of white. That will make his daughter mixed race because they still have a white actress for Dr. Halsey.
Which is Natasha McElhone, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, she was in...
Tons of stuff.
There was something big she was in.
She's Irish.
Is she?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Think we can meet her? Think she moves in different circles?
It is a very small island.
It is pretty small. As Krista keeps telling me, it's smaller than Florida.
I believe it.
Not as crazy, though.
Florida is pretty crazy.
There's very little in the way of Florida man level craziness here. I think we talked about this a lot at the time. There's not too much point in rehashing it.
Yeah, there's not really more. And I kind of touched upon it earlier, but it's just we just have to wait and see what happens when we watch the show.
We'll see.
I think it's an example of just casting the right character, the right actor for the character.
I get the feeling that from the way 343 talked at the time that they want to make it work with Danny because they really like him.
That's perfectly fine to me.
As long as he's a good actor and he enjoys the character, like it's not the end of the world if Jacob Keyes changes colour. It doesn't take anything away.
Yeah, and I mean, it also really depends on where 343 takes the lore from this show into the future. Like, if they build off of this show, like if they completely retcon the games, and then now Jacob Keyes appears in Halo Infinite and he's black because he's black in this show, like that I think is a little bit more of a drastic sort of retcon. But if it's isolated, yeah, but it's been in other mediums. But if it's isolated in the show, it's really not that big of a deal.
I see the handy thing is, at least, he's dead. There's only so much they can do with him.
Yeah, he was only in one game when you think about it. And in the books, I don't think it even mentions his race.
No, it really doesn't, so there's not much to it. If you didn't see him in the game, and you don't see him a big pile in combat
and that's
evolved.
Why, so when Soren was announced as a black actor, it was like, oh, that's awesome, representation, yada yada, he's probably a really good actor, but yeah, it's never like specified in the short story that Soren is in. And then and even in the casting, you see young Soren, so we might get a little bit of who he was as a child, doing the crazy shit that he did before he even joined the Spartan program. So, like, that's a perfect example of just broadening and further developing these characters.
Like, it's the same with Chief. They very rarely mention Chief's colour, and they only usually mention it in terms of he's ghostly white because he's in his armour all the time. Like, only for that they wouldn't mention it either, so I can live okay with a lot of this. Like, like we said, we will wait and see, and there's no point getting too excited. We've got 2 years?
Year and a half.
A year and a half. If it all goes to hell in a year and a half, we'll put it in the Nightfall category and we'll carry on. And everything will be fine. Just like that really terrible Halo Legends anime that they have. Ugh. I can't even remember the name. I've just cleaned it out of my head now. Okay, we've got 2 things left to mention in our roundup of the year, and then we're going to take a quick break. So, Halo Master Chief Collection came out in December for PC, and Reach came out on PC and on Xbox. During the next year, hopefully, the other Halos will join into the PC in a timely fashion. But if you're playing an Xbox, you now have every Halo game on the one console.
Which is pretty amazing.
It looks beautiful. Played a few levels of it with the guys. It looks really nice. It seems to work. No one's unhappy with it. They got Firefight working. They got Invasion going. There's no downside to what they've added into the package. They got the customization. There's been a few issues. I think I might have them myself with the method of unlocking them, but it's a small gripe in an otherwise really good effort.
It seems that the progression system is kind of being critiqued as not enjoyable and kind of nuanced, and that's kind of the only like critique that like I have about it. And then in terms of bugs, it's pretty much bug free, but I know PC players are experiencing some audio issues and some music bugs.
Yeah, my brother got it the day it launched, and he said it was a hot mess.
Oh wow,
on PC. Yeah,
hot mess.
Hot mess.
I don't fuck with the PC, so I don't know what's involved with that.
Yeah, our PC community on our Discord said that it's been pretty good, pretty stable, very enjoyable and all that kind of stuff. It's just the audio issues. I mean, I don't know if they've been patched since, but that seemed to be the major sort of bug with the release. But other than that, it's for the most part very well received.
And like we said, it's pretty awesome to think that this far out, they've finally been able to pretty much fix Master Chief Collection. Like, that was a game at one stage I think we were all prepared to write off as the multiplayer's never going to work, but we can always play the campaigns, and that was going to be it. To now, everyone seems pretty happy, and it's your go-to game if you're... It's your go-to game if you miss old Halo, and it's your go-to game if you're one of those pain-in-the-ass old Halo was better.
It's just such an amazing value for money game when you think about it. Like, just what it gives you and how well it does it now it is amazing. It's a testament that they support it, and I knew they had to because it's Halo, but they put the work in. I'm glad it's where it is now.
And I think pretty much everyone in the community will say that as well. So, okay, that's everything for 2019.
Woo.
I think we've covered all the big stuff anyway. It wasn't a bad year for Halo, was it?
No, it wasn't a bad year. When you think about it, that we're building up. We're not quite in the hype train. We're still at the station. We can see the train coming, but we're not on it yet.
We did still manage to get some good stuff. We got some good books. We got some good comics. We got a few other bits and pieces. I mean, like the Halo hype tease is starting, so we were all here for Halo 5 the last time, and I'm looking forward to see how it goes this time.
No, I agree. I think what they do in 2020 is, yeah, like David said, they've been building to it. They have a marketing plan, and whatever their release schedule is for 2020 is just going to further excite the hype train. And once E3 comes, I just feel like it's just not going to stop.
Though it's definitely something to look forward to next year. Alright, we are going to take a quick break for 1 minute, and when we come back, we are going to go over our listener feedback for the year, and then we're going to do our predictions, and we're going to bounce. So we will see you again in a minute. Okay, and welcome back to part 2 of the show. Hope you're enjoying it so far. So, we've gone over all the major news and stuff that's happened this year. Now we're going to turn over to the listeners, and we're going to see what you guys enjoyed about this year. We have scoured the Discord, and we have also found people on the Facebook, and we may have harassed the patrons as well to get lots of feedback from everyone. So we're going to go through them all here. Oren's going to kick it off, and we'll just see what everyone thinks and what they enjoyed. Oren?
Yeah, so Elson94 said, here are my thoughts about this year. I really enjoyed Outpost Discovery. Sorry, Aaron and David, you didn't get a chance to go, but for me, it was in Houston and in August, and I was able to have a good friend go with me when he was visiting. It wasn't perfect, but I was really happy, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I probably would be better prepared to try to get signatures, as it was my first convention. But I was happy to get Grim Brother 1's signature. Shout out to Jeff. And a shout out to Podcast Evolved. The VR and laser tag experiences were the most fun, and I wish there were places nearby that would recreate them. Yeah, some people are really on top of their signature game. Pro tip for conventions is to come with like 5 Sharpies, preferably if you already have a poster. Then that way you just roll it up and walk around, and then when you see someone, you have a Sharpie, you have your poster, and they just straight up and sign it. So good work. And yeah, I got a signature from Grim Brother 1 as well, so I know what it feels like. It's pretty powerful. David?
That is me. So Lucas, Discord, says, my favorite thing this year was the discovery of the hidden audio file found in the Halo Infinite trailer back in July. It really built on that hype from the trailer. That's obviously we spoke about earlier in the episode. It's cool. 343 are good at like hiding things in their trailers and stuff like that. I'm not good at finding them, but I love that when other people do, same. They tell me about it.
It whets the appetite for the ARG stuff that we know is going to come down the line, because that was probably some of the biggest excitement we had in the run up to Halo 5. And I can't wait to do that again.
Because there was even Easter eggs in the announcement trailer as well. Kind of the mood piece. I forget what that was. That one... No, this one's Discover Hope. What was that one called?
I forget what they called it, yeah, but it was the one with the landscapes, and they had writing etched into cave walls or something, and then Chris went and translated it because he's a madman. I wonder, does he speak Forerunner yet? Shout out to Chris, because he's there somewhere taking notes diligently.
Lurking around. He was playing Master Chief Collection earlier today.
He was probably researching. He's never
Good
playing.
Man, Chris.
He's always studying and taking screenshots.
He's always working. He doesn't play Halo. He works.
He does. Right, and what have we got next here on our list? Redacted 17 over in the Discord just quite quickly says it's the Halo PC Reach announcement.
That was pretty good. Moon Seal, they said, would say finding this podcast has to be on the top of my list. Oh, thanks, Moon Seal. Listen to it basically all of the Halo mission debriefs over the course of my vacation in Europe this past June. Wow, that's a good way to experience traveling, to kind of get your Halo fix. So thank you, Moon Seal, for that. I'm very appreciative for the words, and I'm sure Colin would appreciate it. And David, you're on the show.
100%. Thank you very much. Dizzy Bumper from Discord says, for me, it was music at the ending of the new Infinite trailer that made my year. So it's always a good sign when we know that Halo music is top of its game.
I've got all the short ones. This has worked out quite nicely. Elder Squirrel over in the Discord, all they said was mods. So I've no clue if that's PC mods on the Discord forum.
Probably mods on Halo Reach PC. That's how I would interpret it. Which they're pretty crazy. I saw one mod today of a multiplayer match where it was, I think it was Invasion, but they had the target locator as a playable weapon, and at the end of one of the rounds, the guy did the target locator like right at the end of the mission, or right at the end of the round, so then everyone respawned, and right when the other team respawned, that's when the fire came down and wiped out the whole team instantly. Then they hopped in a Phantom and then started flying the Phantom, and then like the video ended, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what are these crazy people doing?
That's impressive. Fair enough. Okay, PC mods. Yep, that's up there.
Blank Shot. Oh wait, Blank Shot said the consistent tease of Infinite from 343 Industry. Everyone loves a good tease. Just getting to be going on a little too long. So basically, he's getting a little over teased, but I think you'll be pleased that as 2020 comes around, they're going to start give us a few answers and a little bit more information. I'm curious to see like how much they really tell us before E3, because once E3 comes, there's almost like no time left. Like I'm very curious to see if something happens before E3.
I'd say this definitely is. Matt says the George bot. So this is a Discord thing, and I don't know what Discord is, but I heard from you guys listening to the podcast saying about it. I can guess what it does.
Yeah, what do you think
I'm sorry,
does?
Aaron. I'm sorry, Aaron. Do you type George into Discord and it tells you that George is dead?
You got it.
I got it. All right, okay. That's actually pretty hilarious.
And if you type in the date of George's death, it will tell you that, hey, that's the date George died.
That is just unnecessary levels of mean.
That really is. Man, Ian's cruel.
The best thing I found out was I can delete the comments from the George bot.
Oh, there you go.
I just can't delete them as fast as I spam them. But someday I'm going to learn how Discord works, and then I'm going to banish that bot to hell. But until then. Oh, right. What have we got next? Spartan B312 over on Discord says all the good Mega Bloks construct sets, even though I can't get them in the US right now. Colin's big into his Mega Bloks.
Mm-hmm.
I not so much, but the Mega Bloks people seem pretty happy at the minute. We even gave some away in our most recent giveaway.
Yes.
And I believe the recipient was very excited to get it.
Oh, the recipient was thrilled, ecstatic. So congratulations to him. I can't remember his name. It was either Jeff or Tom. I think it was Tom, because Ian accidentally called him Jeff, unless I'm getting it backwards. He knows who he is, because he's listening right now. All right, so the next one, I'm not sure how you pronounce this, but I'm going to go with Authid Exuberant Witness. There's some ones in there, so I don't know if that's supposed to... Or Auth1, Ard1? I don't know. Exuberant Witness from our Discord. Their favorite moment from this past year was the Halo Infinite teaser we got at E3, leading me to this podcast that then led me to the Discord community. So welcome. Glad you enjoyed kind of our discussions on the Infinite teaser and that you've stuck around and found a good community, and hope you kind of continue to, enjoy and take part. We're happy to have you.
Then Patrick says... No, is it Patrick? Dos Boxler.
Dos Boxler.
Dos Boxler says, being welcomed into the Halo community, especially the HP, that's us, community as I journey into Halo. So, thank you, Dos. That's nice. Welcome.
A lot of kind words here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is self-praise no praise if we're reading it out? Or does it count?
I mean, this is the first... I haven't read this list, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm reading this for the first time, so...
Yeah,
I
it's
think
nice that no one was mean to us so far. Although I did copy and paste some of these without proofreading them, so be careful. Rai could be lurking in here somewhere.
Oh no.
Alright, well we're now going to switch over to the Facebook, because we got a few people there to give us some info as well. So Patrick over on Facebook said, hard to pick between the trailer for Infinite and the release of Master Chief Collection with Reach. So I told him he could have both. Both, I think we've talked them both to death, but definitely the two biggest game things of this year.
Definitely. Lance from Facebook says, getting a Halo Art FX Master Chief statue with the Mark V upgrade that my grandmother got me for my birthday. Wow, congratulations. And then his second most important or most impactful moment was going to Outpost Discovery.
That's some great grandparent gifting right there.
Yeah, good for her.
My grandparents wouldn't know what Master Chief was if he sat down beside them and talked to them.
Thomas then said, for me, it has to be the introduction of Halo Outpost Discovery. Although I didn't get to experience it as I'm in the UK, I know your pain. I think that live action interaction experience really adds to the breadth and depth of Halo universe and helps to make it feel alive. Really hope it's the start of something great.
I agree. I think it'd be great for more people to experience Outpost Discovery as well, for it to kind of evolve as more and more things kind of get released. I can see two different scenarios where it either evolves to kind of hype Infinite as well, like, if it does it this coming summer season, or after Infinite comes out, so in 2021, they kind of incorporate different things that we learned from Zeta Halo into the experience.
Next, John, over on the Facebook, Reach re-release. Reach was when I met some amazing online friends. For me, Halo 1 to 3 were LAN parties. Reach is where my online gaming began. Same as myself, really, because I didn't know what internet was in the days of Halo 3. Lots of memories doing customs. Master Chief Collection brought that back. I think that's a view shared by a lot of people.
I definitely do, yeah.
They've gotten into Master Chief Collection and they're all having that moment of going, oh, this is amazing. And then the next thing they all say is, man, fuck armor lock. That's usually how that conversation goes. Everyone has that warm, wistful moment, and then it all goes wrong. All right, we got one more, and then we're going to do our predictions.
So our last one comes from Alan, and it's going to sound very cheesy, but actually finding this group. Wow, so many. The Mission Debrief podcast helped fill a Halo podcast hole ever since Dust and Echoes stopped. It's nice knowing there are still people that love Halo games and lore. Well, welcome aboard, Alan, and yeah, shout out to Dust and Echoes, another Halo podcast. Hope they get picked back up, or they continue being Halo community members down the line. And yeah, Mission Debrief is a great show that I think is huge shout out to Colin and everybody.
Thank you.
It's great. It's awesome, and it's so simple.
Yeah, and it came from just a small off the cuff idea and grew into a beast, and now it keeps our podcast feed alive, which is great.
Yeah, it really does. It's been great for that.
I think we will move to predictions. I will roll through the 2019 predictions quickly, and then we will do our 2020 ones, and I think we can split Colin and Ian's between us. Also, shout out, we do not have Krista's predictions for this episode, because Krista very inconveniently scheduled a graduation for the middle of this.
Yeah, I don't know why she did something like that. She knows we record every week.
That's all right, Krista. We can see where your priorities lie.
Yeah. Graduating university is just so selfish.
I know. Shoutouts to Krista, who will never listen to this anyway, so it won't matter. All right, so 2019 predictions. There was one prediction from Krista. George remains dead.
Which is quite appalling. I remembered that she said this, but I was shocked to hear that was the only thing that she predicted.
Are you surprised that one, that would be the only thing she would predict, and that two, the creator of the George bot would put it on the website? I am surprised by neither of these facts. Krista, apart from Oren, is the only other person to get a prediction right for this year.
Whoop, whoop.
My two predictions were that we would get Halo 5 campaign DLC of some description. We did not. And that Mendicant Bias would finally appear in the lore. He fucking didn't. Another year goes by, no Mendicant Bias. Maybe someday.
Maybe next year.
Oh, I've given up all hope now. I'm not even going to say maybe an infinite, because I'll just set myself up for sadness.
Don't do that. Don't be sad, Aaron.
Right, we have 3 predictions from David from last year. You got none either, I'm afraid, David.
Boo.
Halo Infinite beta announcement. We did not get one. Halo Infinite E3 gameplay demo. We did not get one. Halo Infinite release date announcement at E3. I'm going to give you half points. Hang on, no, we're going to give you half points.
What?
You got a year.
Come on.
Yes, suck it, Oren.
You got a year this year. He gets a half.
I guess it technically is a date.
It is a date.
Is a date. It's just not a complete date.
Yeah, Oren, it is a date.
Well, I'll stand by my 1 point, and I feel like Krista's 1 point should have an asterisk next to it.
Krista's 1 point's not actually being included.
Krista's fake point.
She's banned from this year. Right. Oren has a couple here. So we had Halo Infinite 2020 release year. You got that. Halo Infinite E3 gameplay demo you wanted as well. Nope. Halo Infinite multiplayer alpha. Nope. And Halo TV show 2019 release. How naive we all were.
Yeah, right. Looking at that now, I'm like, gosh, why did I think that? I guess I was thinking that it would lead up to Infinite. But, I mean, that was before the huge news drops that we continually got throughout 2019 to kind of better shape our...
Yeah, this was still the time when we were thinking that Infinite might come out the end of this year and it would have been a cross-gen game, and then I think they came out and said, no, it'll be 2020. So now we're going to move into our predictions for the year ahead. Ian will put these up on the website. I think there's a prediction section under the community tab, so you can see how we go on during the year. He must update it periodically because he had nice big red X's through all of our predictions because we kept getting them wrong. So, I'm going to go with mine first and then I'll let you guys read out yours.
Go for it.
The first one's my safe bet, and I think Oren may have had the same idea.
Yeah, I did.
That we will get a limited edition Series X console, and I'm also convinced that we're going to get a Halo Elite 2 because we had the Gears limited edition Elite last generation, or this generation, and that was the only one we ever got. I can't see them doing Infinite and not doing one for it.
So you're saying you can see an Infinite limited edition Series X packaged with a limited Elite controller, or you just think
Absolutely not.
or
That's
just
crazy.
both of them as separate? Because like, did the Gears one come with an Xbox One X?
No, it didn't. The Xbox came separate. You got the console with 2 standard controllers in Gears color, and then they did the Elite separate. Although, to be honest,
Okay.
I could see them doing either way. I could see
That'd
them
be an
doing the silly.
expensive box. That'd be like $800.
I feel like if you're already all in on the idea that you want the console and you want the Elite, maybe they throw something in to like sweeten the deal, throw $20 off, or throw in some Game Pass. But I probably would expect them to be separate.
Okay.
I would like people to know that if it happens, I will be buying another Elite controller because I hate myself.
If it's a pretty dope design, I may be in that same boat. Because yeah,
I will only buy it if it's Halo branded. Otherwise, I don't know if I'll buy it.
I'm not sure about the console at the minute because we still don't have a price, and I don't think that thing's going to be cheap.
It's not going to be more than the PS5. I'll tell you that now.
Oh yes, that'll be true.
I can see the limited edition. You know, if we're using the $500 as like a generic accepted prediction, then any sort of limited series console could be between $550 and $600.
I want to say that the Gears console, when that came out, was like 100 more than the standard one, but it also had the bigger hard drive. That's usually
Yeah,
how they also
that's
get
true.
away with justifying it. Anyway, we will see. My second prediction for next year is that we're going to get 4 novels and then 2 comic books, short series of comic books. I'm thinking maybe 2 runs of like 3.
Like Lone Wolf.
So like a Lone Wolf equivalent.
And I also think they're going to dust off the idea of the audio drama.
I would love
I really
that.
would love that.
I
Yeah.
think that'd be great if we got another Hunt the Truth type of show.
I'm really excited. I don't know what it's going to be, but part of me likes the idea of human resistance radio, like broadcasting under the nose of the created.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Or like some kind of something inside the Infinity as it's on the run.
Yes, something cool anyway. So I think that will probably happen. And then my other, I think might be a fairly safe bet. I think we'll get like a beta of some description for the multiplayer around March time.
I think that's a pretty good prediction. Because it begs the question, like, how much do they wait till E3? Because if they're going to have flighting, like they've already said, for Infinite, you know, we've seen really the only time, like, I think even Halo Wars 2 had a long flighting process. Because Halo Wars 2, they had a beta after it was announced at E3. So, you know, in June. And then the game didn't come out till February of the next year. And then Halo 5 had their beta 8 to 10 months before the game came out. And then flighting for Master Chief Collection has just been so long. If they're continuing their track record of just long flighting processes, not like anything against that, the beta of whatever that it is would have to be before E3.
I think we'll get this early and we get a feel for the mechanics and the multiplayer, and then they'll hit us over the head with story at E3. And they might even give us like another go of the beta at E3 just to get people hyped, but
I can see them using the same build. They kind of do the same thing when they bring it from trade show to trade show. They bring the same demo build to each of them, so then you can play it, even if it advances in development internally.
those are my predictions for this year. David, do you want to go through yours?
Sure. Mine are similar. I think the beta will actually be a little bit after E3. I think that'll be kind of their big thing that they'll push to that. The only reason why I think that is because I also think that Infinite is around November. I think there's going to be plenty of time after E3 to do a beta, and the way that they've kind of done it, I think they'll be so ready with this game. I think they have to be so on point just with how Master Chief Collection launched and how people weren't thrilled with Halo 5. But I think they're going to knock this one out of the park. And I think they're only going to be stress testing with that beta. So I really think we're going to see something like that after E3. I think the Halo TV show will get an actual release, some kind of announcement. We'll get a date, we'll get details of it at some stage this year. We'll know more specifics essentially around this launch. I think we're going to get at least 3 books in this year. I didn't really say anything about comics, so I'm just going to go with novels. I think some kind of novellas we're going to get this year. I think also Infinite and obviously Series X will have some kind, like the way you guys have done it are pretty much spot on. They're definitely going to package these things together and market them heavily together as being like Halo 5 will be the title to get on Series X.
I can totally see a limited edition Series X that looks like a Forerunner pillar, post, piece of machinery, piece of a Halo. It's got an unusual shape.
David, did you say that you think the release is in November?
Yeah, that's what I think we're going for. Halo and Series X release November.
I could see that.
Yeah. The last consoles, they came out in November because I got them right before Thanksgiving.
That's what I'm thinking too. They'll want it around that time.
Yeah, that's a good release window.
Get that holiday hype.
All right, Oren?
So I agree that Halo Infinite will have a Xbox Series X custom edition. I can even picture like if they had a decal of like the verticality of the ring kind of going up and, up to a point because of the perspective, since the console is so vertical. I do think it's a little weird though if you are one of those gamers that are going to put it horizontal. So I think that's something to consider, but I don't know. I feel like they would embrace it in either direction, but because of how they paired the two together at this year's E3, I just think that there's going to be like, here's the new Halo, here's the new Xbox. This is the benchmark we are setting, and we're just going to go up from there for the rest of this console generation. Next, I was trying to think of something out of the box, and I think it'd be interesting if there was some sort of new transmedia type of announcement. I don't really know what that means, but like the way I kind of described it here was some type of maybe innovation in Halo media distribution. I kind of think of like the Halo channel and kind of how Kiki Wolfskill and her team wanted the Halo channel to be kind of this hub that you can go to for Halo news and all that kind of stuff. And funnily enough, the Master Chief Collection is kind of that now, to where you go there and you can get all of your Halo like games and stuff. Like, it wouldn't be too much to kind of integrate news into the Master Chief Collection game just as something that continually updates, since you're going to be going there anyway to play the games, instead of going to another third-party app to go and do, find these news items or whatever. So I can see something like that trying to come back, maybe use the power of xCloud or whatever Series X has to offer. But I think that could be some new form of entertainment or distribution that we can see in the new year to kind of continue to push the new technology. A little safer would be Halo TV show teaser at San Diego Comic-Con, kind of similar to what we got with the Forward Unto Dawn show as well as Nightfall. San Diego Comic-Con has kind of become like a TV show hub in addition to all the comic book media that goes there. So kind of using that track record to go with. And I think at this time, like David kind of said, I feel like that's when we kind of get a release window, maybe even a release date, and kind of just more information about the show at San Diego Comic-Con. And then I think all the Master Chief Collection titles on PC will be out by the end of the summer, which puts it at the end of August. And then the reason for that, obviously, is just so you have time on PC to play through Halo 4. Is Halo 5 on PC?
Halo 5 is not. It's the only one now that PC players can't play.
I'm going to make another prediction that Halo 5 comes to PC before Infinite comes out. Because I can see all of the mainline Halo games coming out by the end of August, and then even Halo 5. So then when you play Halo Infinite, you can play everything on PC, so then you're ready to play Infinite on PC.
That would be pretty cool. Fingers crossed. Hopefully someday.
Go for it, PC people.
Right. I will read out Ian's and then we can work through Colin's because Colin made a lot of predictions. Jump through these quick. Ian says Infinite/Series X release November 17th, 2020. He's all in on a date. Don't know if I'm that brave, but we will see. Ian also thinks 2 books released in 2020. One of the books will be the follow-up to Retribution, and the other will be the story of how Guilty Spark and Rion Forge sent the Spirit of Fire to the Ark.
So specific.
I know, he's really going all in on these details. I think it'll backfire, but we'll see. He also, look, same as me, he thinks Halo 5 will be added to Master Chief Collection.
Interesting.
I could see it, just to have them all in the one game. I could see them doing something crazy like that.
I just can't. I don't really see the point.
If you think about it, for PC players, it gets them all in the one title and they're there. And then if they do the work to put it on PC and Master Chief Collection, why not chuck it into 5? And then you just never have to load up your other game ever again.
I mean, I can see that from a PC perspective. If you want to have the Halo Master Chief Collection tile on your desktop, to click that to bring you into all of the Halo games, yes, that is very convenient. But like, I don't know, I feel like you could do that for Xbox, but I don't know, Halo 5 runs fine.
I know it does, but I think if they do the work to get it on PC, they'll just port it over to MCC and just leave it for people. Because if you only have to launch the one game instead of 2, it's pretty good. Although at that stage, they might just have to rebrand it the Halo Hub. But we will see. All right, do one of you guys want to read out some of Colin's?
Yeah, I'll do some of Colin's. He says the Infinite release date, again, he's gone very specific, he wrote his date wrong. So I don't know what the 30th month of the year is. That seems ridiculous, Colin. But anyway, the 10th day of the 30th month in 2020 is what Colin thinks Halo Infinite was released.
Let me translate. I believe he means October 30th for you Europeans out there.
But that's the only one he wrote wrong, because the rest of them he wrote the month in words.
That is true.
I don't know. Anyway, the multiplayer beta he thinks is March 7th. Very specific date.
Yeah, that's so specific.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. Colin then says classic linear gameplay, but with open world level selection. Main mission play as Chief with side missions as alternate characters, which sounds cool. It says we'll have the Flood. The plot will be Flood versus Created, 4 new books, comics in 2020, and Battle Royale.
Haven't they confirmed numerous times we ain't getting Battle Royale?
Yes.
But we will have this suspicious big team battle where it's 50v50.
I like it.
But it definitely won't be Battle Royale. It'll just be big team battle.
I just can't see Battle Royale. Like, it hurts. I don't like it. No.
Now that I've said big team battle out loud, that's what I want.
Big?
I want big team battle and big team battle.
So when you say big, do you mean like Warzone?
I think Warzone big.
Like, where do you, or do you like iterate from Warzone? Like, what do you think Warzone and Infinite is like? Do we think that it's coming back? Do you think it's getting bigger?
I hope it comes back as a Warzone 2.0, but I can see it going 2 separate directions. I think whatever they do with Warzone standard will be their Battle Royale like substitute, because I think they'll do something with more players, but I don't know what. And then I think down another route, they'll go to Firefight and do something a bit more dedicated than the way they kind of like bolted it in.
I can see them bringing back like traditional Firefight, how it was in Reach and ODST, to where it's not Warzone Firefight, but it's actually Firefight 3.0. That would be really cool if they did that.
If I wanted to go crazy about a game mode I've always wanted, I've always kind of liked the idea of, I'm forgetting the type of game right now, one of you guys might remember. Kind of like a dungeon crawler where every time you die and come back, it changes again. Roguelike. I like the idea of just a Halo mode that's co-op, maybe 4 or 5 players, where every time you go in, the game auto-generates a new level.
Something like Spartan Ops, but like
kind of like
randomly
Spartan
generated?
Ops, but randomly generated. Maybe, you see, I always thought you could do an indoor version, because if you just had an engine that could generate sections of ship and attach them together, it wouldn't matter if the ship didn't make sense in theory from a layout, but it would just give you, like, imagine every time you went
Just
and played,
It's a holodeck,
Replayability,
everyone knows
yeah.
that.
every time you went and played Truth and Reconciliation, but it was different, or outdoor levels that changed all the time. I kind of like the idea of something a little different in my firefight, but even if they just gave me a big standard firefight, I'd be pretty alright with it.
Yeah, cool.
That's about it. All I really think.
What a year.
I know.
What a year.
Like, this is another year over and done with, and next year's a Halo year.
Dude, 2020 is going to be intense. Heard it here first.
Not even just for Halo, but like gaming in general.
That
It's
is
gonna be nuts.
true. Like, gaming as we know it is going to change. Whether you're an Xbox or a PlayStation, like if you're a console gamer, 2020 is a big year for you. Just like as a console gamer.
New hardware, new games. We didn't even get the chance to talk about the Hellblade trailer. Maybe next year.
Oh, yes.
I am so happy because that was one of my
Biggest disappointments was...
it was just like I was so expecting that trailer at this year's E3, but to hear of their other game, which I'm excited for, but it was just like, whoa, not expecting that. And then seeing this trailer, I'm just like, dude, I cannot wait. Probably a 2021 game,
That's totally fine with me.
maybe 2022, hopefully not. But anyway, we'll talk about that next year.
I think we will spend a little time. Hopefully we get a little more information about the new Xbox, and we can take an episode and chat about that stuff.
I think that's good to do. Talk about the capabilities, because I do want to talk about that and how Infinite is cross-generational. I think that's a topic we should discuss next year.
When we get a few more facts, it'll be something to sink our teeth into. I think we're going to call time on this monster of an episode, because we haven't done one this long since Greg and Chloe came on, so we may wrap it up for now. Thank you to everyone that, like we said, everyone that contributed in Patreon, everyone that joined the Facebook or the Discord, every new member, every other Halo fan that's just come to our corner of the internet, everyone that gave feedback this evening for our show.
Bought merch, everything you did. Thank you all.
It blows my mind every time I open the emails and see that we have a new patron, or that someone's commented on one of our YouTube videos. Just that we've got another member that's joined and said, I'm new, I'm here to learn about Halo, and I found you guys. It's been fantastic. I don't think I'll ever get used to the fact that people come here to listen to us.
It's pretty flattering, and it's great. I just love talking about Halo, and it's great that more and more people are listening, and even meeting you guys on Discord and Facebook. It's great, and we just love talking about Halo. It's as simple as that.
Yay, Halo.
Yeah, it's a good fun game to talk about, and we look forward to the hype build up next year. If this is your first Halo hype session, you're in for hopefully a good treat. But you can join us.
Choo choo.
I think writing the Reach Master Chief Collection wave has really sparked the not necessarily old school Halo, but like the nostalgia Halo, to where like those people are back playing, and if they just ride that 343 just rides that wave and just gives us news about Infinite, and I think it'll transition nicely, and it'll be a big year for them.
Well, in that case, guys, thank you very much. You can find all of our usual details over on the website. That's halopodcastevolve.com. You can find our social media stuff there, even our Xbox stuff. Add us up, because chances are over the holidays we might be online playing a few things. If any of you want to play Destiny with me, it's probably all I'll be playing. Give me a shout. I usually don't bite, and we can shoot some aliens together. And I think, guys, that will do us until next time. Evolved?
Evolve.